So first things first, the knowledge conversion quizzes are open, all of them. I opened them yesterday, late, but they're open. They open on January 5th and they close on February 5th. That is the Friday of week 5. You have until that time to take the knowledge conversion quizzes. You can take them all at one shot, or you can take one this week and one today, maybe one tomorrow, so forth, so on, as long as they are done before Friday, week 5. Friday, week 5, they close. Okay, my suggestion would be don't wait till Friday. Try to get them done before Thursday. Okay, try to get them done. If you don't get them done, they will drop your grade average. If you get them done before that Friday, you will get 10 extra credit points for having them knocked out before they close. Okay, a little bit incentive by sweetening up the pot. Okay, so you do have that option. Okay.
Hey, Chef, Maya's here. Sorry I'm late.
I see you, Ms. Maya. We're just going over the knowledge conversion quizzes. They're all open. Okay.
Yes, Chef.
And I know some of you guys are going to get on them as soon as possible. Some of you guys are going to wait. If you wait, you come around Monday and you know, had something that you guys didn't take them because they're closed. Sorry, guys, they're closed. Plenty of time to take the knowledge conversion quizzes. They don't take long. It's only five questions, and they're really easy. Okay, so take them as soon as you can. Okay. Again, if you take them before Friday, that week 5, you get 10 extra credit points. Got it? Okay. Let's go over the newsletter real quick. Okay. Let me go back here. No. We don't want that. Cancel. All right. So like clockwork, I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed it after, you know, going to make pies and all kinds of good things. Hope you guys were safe after the snowstorm hit yesterday. Not driving around and slipping and sliding all over the place. Okay. So let's begin with our Ritual Monday newsletter. Okay, weekly newsletter. Remember, Monday next week we have no class. Okay, there's no class next week. We have no school next week. I mean, next Monday. Next Monday, okay, January 18th, we will not have class. As I said, we will observe Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That is Monday, January 18th. No class, so don't try to log in. We don't have that day. We don't have any school. What's going to happen on Friday? Okay, we're going to cook at home. So what I might do, it's because we're still going to meet Tuesday and Wednesday on campus. Okay. So let me think about what's going to happen next week. But for now, there's no class, no school on Monday. Okay, guys, got it? Okay. And again, there's your holiday calendar. Beginning with the first one, January 18th, that's next Monday, no class. Okay. March 26th, you guys will be in the next block. Okay. And again, if you have a new phone number or address, they need to know, school needs to know, you can use the link below. Okay. To make changes, it was created for your convenience and remains completely private. Okay. If you guys want me to copy the link, I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. Okay. There we go. Okay. Oh, it doesn't let me copy it. Copy link address. Here we go. It's in the chat. Okay. If you guys have any change of address or phone number, there it is. Okay. What else? Some resources. We need some assistance. Okay. Same old, same old. New website to help with mental health issues. Crisis Center, always there for your loss, after your loss. Okay. Inter-school department, that's who to contact. Okay, but you guys are all on hybrid, so you guys should not be getting any stipends, so you don't need to contact T. Vargas or Mayor Reardon. Okay. But if you decide to go online in the future, that's who your contact will be. Okay. And again, Zendesk, you should be having no issues with your portal. You should be logging in every single day, checking out your notes, your grade. And like I said, now you have your quizzes to be done before week 5, Friday, week 5. Okay. And again, Zendesk, that's the number to call. If you do happen to have an issue in the future that you can't log in or whatever the case may be. Okay. How to protect yourself, following CDC guidelines. Using bleach as a disinfectant. And again, Mr. Jamil Hooper and Aunt Eric are there for you guys, okay? Especially when it comes to regional cuisine. You should be getting on the ball trying to look out for a job and externship. You guys can fulfill that part of your program, okay? Featured employers, if you guys are looking for a job, anybody, Better Half and Whole out brewing. It's hiring, 406 Wall Street, full-time baker. Spreadingcompany.com is looking for baker's assistants down West 38th Street. Suerte, awesome restaurant, is looking for experienced line cook, East 6th Street. Burger Bar on campus, is looking for cooks, okay? So again, these are the places looking for jobs. I mean, if we're looking for line cooks, guys. So if anybody's interested, go check those places out, okay? What else? Workers needed. Again, dry storage, doesn't fit your schedule though, okay? Quote of the week, we're never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream, okay? By E.S. Lewis. Just for fun, don't ask me why. Okay, I don't know why. Trivia, food for thought. Where is the mushroom capital of the United States? Is it Pennsylvania, California, New Hampshire, Ohio, or Tennessee? Anyone?
I would say California.
California going once. Ohio, Tennessee. All right. Anyone else?
I'm gonna go with Ohio.
We get 2 for Ohio. And remember, again, these are the edible mushrooms, right? Not the other mushrooms. 1, Pennsylvania. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Let's go check out what the answer is. Going once, going twice. Seoul. Where is the mushroom capital of the United States? Pennsylvania, California, New Hampshire, Ohio, or Tennessee? Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. Kennett Square, Pennsylvania is the king of fresh, commercially grown mushrooms. Not only is mushroom farming the leading agriculture industry in the area, it is also the largest producer of fresh mushrooms in the United States, followed by California, Ms. Maya. You were close, okay? You were close. So Pennsylvania, okay? Pennsylvania. That is your newsletter of the week, okay? Now let's go and check out what's happening this week, okay? We are going to go into baking, guys. We're going to go into cakes now, okay? So I need you guys to pay close attention on the baking, okay? Baking is a science. You miss one ingredient, your cake is not going to come out right. You miss a technique, it's not going to come out right, okay? And we are going to work with chocolate, another one, okay? You need to work with chocolate very diligently, okay? Because chocolate is very temperamental. It needs to be tempered correctly before you can work with it, okay? Luckily, all of you guys are going to be on campus coming up Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm going to work with you guys. So you guys are going to see firsthand with the demos how to make those cakes, how to work with chocolate, okay? So let's begin with chocolate. Chocolate. Anybody here allergic to chocolate?
No, I just don't eat a lot of, I don't eat chocolate ice cream or chocolate cake, but I like chocolate.
All right. Okay. So this will be, well, we'll have chiffon cake too, but mostly with, we're going to work with chocolate too, okay? So chocolate, okay? Let's get into the history of chocolate, okay? A little history. History begins in Mesoamerica. Fermented beverages made from chocolate date back to 350 BC, as the Aztecs believed that cacao seeds were the gift of the Quetzalcoatl, the god of wisdom. And the seeds once had so much value that they were used as a form of currency. That's right, money, money, money. Originally prepared only as a drink, chocolate was served as a bitter form of liquid mixed with spices or corn puree. It was believed to have aphrodisiac powers and to give drinkers strength. That's why we use it quite often in Valentine's Day dinner. Valentine's Day sweets, treats. If you ever notice, Valentine's Day is coming around the corner. What is so popular about Valentine's as far as food? Chocolate and then strawberries, right? Okay. So yes, today's such drinks are also known as chilate, and they're made from by locals in the south of Mexico. After its arrival to Europe in the 16th century, sugar was added to it, rendering it in an aphrodisiac, and it became popular throughout society, first among the ruling classes and then among the common people. 20th century, chocolate was considered essential in the rations of the United States soldiers at war. Okay, the word chocolate comes from the classical Nahuatl word chocolatl and entered the English language from the Spanish language. Okay, it is one of the most popular flavorings, perhaps the most popular for candies, cookies, cakes, and pastries. Chocolate is also served as a beverage. Okay, and its ingredient in a traditional spicy Mexican mole sauce. Have you guys ever had mole? Okay. Yeah, no, mole? Ruben, mole?
Mole, it's okay. Just I don't like it. I don't like the chocolate one.
Yeah.
I love mole. I had it like 3 weeks ago at a party. Oh, it's good.
It's a chocolate sauce. It's not that mole from Austin Powers. It's the mole from the one you eat. Okay.
What about you, chef? You like mole?
Oh heck yeah, man, all the time.
I love mole, but not the chocolate kind.
I like them all, man. Mole,
I said
mole,
no.
mole. Yeah. So mole, right? Mole. Anyways, chocolate is available in the variety of forms and degrees of sweetness. Okay. Here we go. A little time frame of chocolate from the Roma cacao, food of the gods. 700 AD. Cacao tree originated in South America, carried by the Mayans into what is now known Mexico. Used for food and currency. 1504. Columbus brought the cacao bean to Spain. The term cacao, mispronounced cocoa, it was a potent drink. 1525. Spanish conquistadors in Mexico, Cortez planted the bean on islands on his way back to Spain. Trinidad, Haiti, African islands. Fernando Po, Spain had control of all production over 200 years. 1600, chocolate drink appeared in France. Sugar, vanilla added. Molinette. It's a little tool that they used to mix a chocolate. La Molina. La Molina is a little wooden stick with a bulb that has a lot of ridges. They used to use that for chocolate. Okay. Ever watch Dora the Explorer? Bate, bate, chocolate. Got it? That's the Molina. Okay. It was preferred hot. Okay. 1700s, cocoa factories opened in Europe. 1765, James Baker, first one in the U.S. to open chocolate factory. 1825, Conrad J. Van Houten developed a separator, paved the way for all future chocolate candy. 1847, England, Fry and Sons, first eating chocolate. 1875 to 76, Henry Nestle, Daniel Peter made condensed milk and milk powder. 1894, Milton Hershey, milk chocolate bars. 1907, Hershey's Kisses were introduced. 1939, Nestle chocolate chips. Okay. Cacao bean. So chocolate quality is actually the product of several factors in addition to flavor. All the following factors should be evaluated when selecting chocolate. First, the appearance. Color should be even and glossy without any discoloration. Smell. Smell should smell chocolate with no off odors or staleness. Break. Should snap cleanly without crumbling. Texture should melt quickly and evenly on the tongue. Okay. So if your chocolate is has any discolorations and it looks whitish on top with no mold, that means that the chocolate has not been tempered correctly. Okay, don't throw it away unless you got green fuzz coming out of it. Okay. Types of chocolate. We got unsweetened chocolate, pure hardened chocolate liqueur without any added sugar or milk solids. It tastes bitter, and you can spit it. You're gonna might spit it out. Okay. It is frequently used in baking and sometimes referred to as baking chocolate. Okay. Unsweetened chocolate is approximately 53% cocoa butter and 47% cocoa solids. Its flavor is pure and chocolatey, but the absence of sugar makes it virtually inedible as is. Okay, so be careful what kind of chocolate you want to use for your recipes. Baker's chocolate has no flavor, no sweetener. Okay, bittersweet and semi-sweet chocolate contains at least about 35% chocolate liqueur plus additional cocoa butter, sugar flavorings, and sometimes emulsifiers. Generally, semi-sweet chocolate is sweeter than bittersweet chocolate, but there are not precise definitions. So flavor and sweetness vary from brand to brand. Both bittersweet and semi-sweet chocolate are excellent eating chocolate and can be substituted measured in any formula. Okay, that's the one we're going to use: bittersweet chocolate. Okay. Couverture, the most expensive chocolate there is. Okay. A case has 2 blocks. It's about 70, so sometimes $100 a case. Chocolate containing a 32% cocoa butter. Professional chocolatiers generally prefer couverture chocolate, which has a higher fluidity than any other chocolate when melted. Okay. Couverture, this is the most expensive chocolate. It's perfect for making filigrees. Okay. And also the chocolate tulip cups. You can't use the chocolate chips. Okay. Sweet chocolate, USDA requires that it contains no less than 15% chocolate liqueur and varying amounts of sugar, milks, solids, flavorings, and emulsifiers. Okay, milk chocolate, sweet chocolate. This is your chocolate chips. This is what you're going to use for your chocolate chip cookies, and what we're going to use for the the devil's food cake and ganache. This kind of chocolate. Okay. Milk chocolate is a favorite eating chocolate in the United States. It contains sugar, vanilla, perhaps flavoring, and milk solids. Chocolate chips are drops of chocolate available in count size from 14 to 160 per ounce. Okay, you buy those at the store, CVS, Walgreens, HEB. Okay, cocoa powder is the brown powder left after the fat is removed from the cocoa beans. It does not contain any sweeteners or flavorings, and it's used primarily in baked goods. We are going to be using that in the devil's food cake, guys, okay? But again, cocoa powder is a drying agent, okay? It'll dry your recipe. So take a closer look at your recipe. Make sure that we have enough moisture for us to be utilized, to be using cocoa powder. And there's different cocoa powder. There's regular cocoa powder, and there's especially dark cocoa powder. It looks like dirt, okay? It looks like dirt that you get from your garden, okay? And cocoa butter, chocolate liqueur is approximately 53% butter or fat, known as cocoa butter. Cocoa butter has long been prized for resistance to rancidity and is used in cosmetics. Ladies, cocoa butter, right? Right? For your skin, okay? White chocolate is the ivory color substance, not the product of an albino cocoa bean. It's an actually confectioner's product. It does not contain any chocolate, solids, or liqueur. The finest white chocolate couverture contains minimum of 31% cocoa butter, maximum of 55% sugar, and 20% milk solids and vanilla or other flavors. Okay. Imitation chocolate or chocolate flavoring coating. Less expensive product substituted for chocolate in many prepared foods. Imitation chocolate is made with hydrogenated vegetable oils instead of cocoa butter. as little as 8% defatted cocoa butter, and as much as 55% sugar plus emulsifiers, flavors, and perhaps milk solids. This is your almond bark, the one you buy at Walmart to make almond bark. Okay, it's not really chocolate. Nutrition chocolate. Chocolate is high in calories and fat, contains minimum amounts of vitamin A and trace amounts of other vitamins, as well as some sodium, phosphorus, potassium, and other minerals. Okay. Couverture flavors, dark. Okay, you got the dark couverture. It's bitter, up to 99% cocoa solids, cocoa butter. Bittersweet, 60 to 80% cocoa solids, cocoa butter, sugar, vanilla, and lecithin. Semi-sweet, 55% to 60% cocoa solids, cocoa butter, sugar, and vanilla, and lecithin. Milk, 35% cocoa solids, cocoa butter, sugar, milk solids, vanilla, and lecithin. White chocolate, 0 cocoa solids, only cocoa butter, sugar, milk solids, vanilla, and lecithin. That's why white chocolate is hard to work with, and sometimes they call it they call it that it's not true chocolate. Okay. So when you store chocolate, and you guys will store chocolate, all chocolate should be stored at a cool and consistent temperature away from strong odors and moisture. Chocolate should never be stored under refrigeration. Dark chocolate, white chocolate, and cocoa butter can be kept up to for 1 year without loss of flavor. Milk chocolate will not keep as well because it contains milk solids. Okay, so do not refrigerate. Okay, because sometimes the condensation of your refrigerator will have moisture in your chocolate, and what is worse to your chocolate is water. Water is like holy water to the devil. Okay, it's like oil and vinegar, do not mix. Okay, so keep away water from chocolate. Okay. Tempering chocolate, which we are going to do tomorrow. We are going to temper chocolate, guys, all right? In order to create chocolate candies with a high gloss and a crisp, sharp snap, when eaten, chocolate must be tempered correctly. It will be crumbly and develop gray streaks known as bloom when they dry. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. If it has those gray streaks and some white lines, it's not tempered properly. Untempered chocolate takes a long time to set, and it sticks to candy molds. Okay? Tempered chocolate is a controlled process of melting, cooling, and reheating chocolate with a specific temperature ranges. The ideal temperature depends on the height of the top of chocolate and the percent of cocoa butter that it contains. Several tempering methods, such as seeding, tabling, microwave oven, and even cocoa butter methods. We are going to be tempering that chocolate, guys. So I need you guys to pay close attention when we start going into the tempering chocolate, okay? If overheated, the chocolate needs to be cool, then reheat it before resuming the tempering process. Equally important, steam or water must not enter the chocolate. Again, water does not enter chocolate. All your equipment needs to be completely dry with no moisture, no water in it before you start working with chocolate. Your table, your cutting board, your knife, your bowl, your everything that you do with chocolate, no water, okay? Because if you do add water, it's going to seize it. At that point, if it seizes, it's good as trash, and you're done ruining your chocolate, okay? When stirring chocolate during tempering, if excess air is incorporated into the mass of chocolate, it will become thick and unmanageable. Reheating and tempering will restore the chocolate's fluidity, okay? So tempering chocolates, okay? The picture on the left-hand side is a properly tempered chocolate. It is glossy, it is hard, it snaps, doesn't easily melt. The picture on your right-hand side, untempered, it's dull, it's streaked, it crumbles, it melts easily, okay? So what's tempered chocolate? It's a snap. Chocolate that is being properly tempered is glossy and breaks cleanly with when snapped. Loss of its temper, okay? So again, tempering chocolate, when you do chocolate covered strawberries, it needs to be tempered properly, okay? So tempering chocolate, okay, we are going to temper the chocolate in the double boiler, okay? Sauce pot, water, stainless steel bowl on top, dried and chocolate inside, okay? You're going to bring it up to 115 degrees, thermometer in hand, take it out, cool it to about 84, and bring it back to 89 degrees, okay? That's how you temper chocolate. Remember those numbers, okay? Remember those numbers because you are tempering chocolate, okay? Handling tips when melting chocolate. Use a double boiler. Simmer in water, low steam. Stir to complete melting. Avoid seizing. Careful the water on bottom of bowl. Workspace, okay? Air incorporation, whisk versus rubber spatula. Always use your rubber spatula. Do not use a whisk when you're tempering chocolate, okay? Do not use a whisk, okay? You may use a wooden spoon to temper chocolate, okay? So tempering, melt, fat crystals dissolves. Introduce a seed, and then you're gonna cool, okay? And I'm going to go into what that means to introduce a seed, okay? Stir to recrystallize and rewarm. Caution, fat blooms, too much heat, cocoa butter separates, you're gonna have oil coming out of the chocolate, you're gonna have gray streaks, flavor not compromised, okay? Sugar bloom, introduction to water, sugar crystallizes, whitish spots, chalky texture, okay? So why temper? Candy making, decorations, sculpture boxes, okay? Dark chocolate tempering. Begin with 6 ounces of chocolate, okay? So this is how you're gonna temper it. You're gonna begin with a small amount of chocolate, 2/3 of your recipe, okay? You're gonna put it in a double boiler, melt it completely to about 113, 120 degrees. So bring your thermometers, bring your production sheet, write these numbers down. Remove from the heat, begin stirring with the seed. So you're gonna reserve a piece of the chocolate. Once the melted chocolate is gonna reach 113, 120, take it out and get that piece and put it inside and start stirring that melted chocolate with a solid chocolate. That's tempering it, okay? When in temper, 86 to 99 degrees, chocolate should feel cool to the touch, okay? So feel that bowl on the outside. If it feels cool to the touch, you know it's tempered, but also use your thermometer, okay? Milk and white chocolate tempering. Same as for dark chocolate, but temps at a lower temperature. Heat water to a simmer. Turn off heat before placing bowl of chocolate in the pan. So about 113, 120 degrees for milk and 104 to 113 for white chocolate, okay? Strawberries, chocolate covered strawberries. Then you're gonna seed it, test for proper temperature. Should be between 84 and 85 degrees for milk chocolate, 82 to 83 for white chocolate, okay? Ganache. Now, we made ganache last week. Remember the little ganache we made it, okay? Typically a combination of chocolate and heavy cream. Couverture is not necessary. Chocolate chips will do fine. Butter may also be added. Okay, so there's 3 types of ganache. You got the soft ganache with no butter, which we made last week. You get the hard ganache that has whole butter folded into the ganache, and you got white ganache, okay? It is used for candy fillings. Many uses: sauce, glaze, filling, icing, okay? Melting of chocolate ensures smoothness. Stir to complete melting. Heat cream before adding, okay? Chocolate mousse. You are going to be making chocolate mousse, okay? It's coming up. Many recipes. It's light, airy, yet rich desserts. Made light by the addition of whipped cream, egg whites, yolks, both. Pasteurized egg yolks recommended for servers to raise populations. Pat a bomb is when you make the simple syrup, almost like caramel candy, okay? Pasteurized egg whites will not whip well. So don't ever try to utilize pasteurized egg whites, okay? Always use fresh egg whites. Protein stains after heat treatment. May take up to 30 minutes with added, okay? Dark chocolate mousse, pas de bombe method. Okay, your recipe in the portal has pas de bombe, but I'm going to give you a different recipe coming up in a minute, okay? Set to aside to cool, do not allow to solidify. Make a pas de bombe, whip egg yolks until light, lemon yellow. Make a soft ball stage sugar syrup to reach about 240 degrees. Remember, we made caramel sauce last week, okay? Pour syrup to yolks while whipping. Slow stream until whip until cool. Then fold in the pot de bombe into the chocolate. Whipped cream, fold in chilled pipe into the serving container, okay? So here's the chocolate mousse recipe. If I were you, I'd take a snapshot picture or write it down. Ricky, Becca, Maya, Trinity, Kaiten,
Yes, chef.
Preston, Ruben. Okay. This is your chocolate mousse recipe coming up. Okay. This is, you need this on your production sheet. Okay. Got it?
Yes, chef.
Well,
Okay. This is your method. Okay. That is your method.
oh, I know how to do that. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was on.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We'll see how it comes out. Yeah, don't jinx yourself. Okay. So that's the method for your chocolate mousse. Okay. You have the recipe, you got the method. Okay. All right. Your menu for Tuesday: chocolate cream pie, chocolate mousse, pâte brisée. Okay. You're gonna make it flaky. Okay. So now you know how to make pâte brisée, right? You're gonna cut the butter into the flour, salt, and sugar mixture, right? Until the butter becomes the pea size, green pea size, just about. Okay. You're gonna fold into a ball. You're gonna refrigerate it for about 20, 30 minutes. Okay. So once you guys are done with your pâte brisée, I'll collect it all tomorrow and take it back to the cooler and let it sit for about 15, 20 minutes. Okay. You're gonna start working on your chocolate mousse. You have the recipe, you have the method. 20 minutes, that pâte brisée comes out. You're gonna work with it, just like you did the apple pie and cherry pie. You're gonna roll it, put it on the bottom of the pie tins. You're going to blind bake that pie shell. Okay, meaning you're gonna line it with parchment paper at the bottom. You're gonna fill it with dried beans. We have some baking beans of the dry storage. I'll bring them out. You're gonna put that in the oven for about 350 until the edges around the sides you begin to get golden brown. You're gonna take them out. You're gonna remove the beans with the parchment paper and put them in a sheet tray so they can cool down before we can put them back in the big bucket. Okay. Once that pie shell is cooled down, then you're gonna fill it with a filling. Okay. There's a recipe how to make that filling. If you guys have your pastry cream, I would suggest bring it to campus tomorrow. Okay. You will need it. If not, you're gonna have to make a new one. Okay. Because pastry cream with cocoa powder and a little bit of chocolate is your filling for the chocolate cream pie. Okay. So that's what you have tomorrow: chocolate cream pie, chocolate mousse, pâte brisée. Okay. And I'm also going to give you a demo of how to make filigrees. We are going to need it coming around Friday when you decorate and present your cakes. Okay. Any questions about tomorrow's menu?
No, chef.
Okay. All right. Get rid of this thing right here. Okay. So that's your menu for tomorrow. Okay. Now let me go in. Okay. And let's take a look at tempering chocolate. Okay. Because you are going to need to temper that chocolate. Okay.
Cooling.
And filigrees. I don't know if you guys remember how to show you guys last week on Friday how to make the parchment paper pastry bag. You guys remember that? You guys that were looking, paying attention. Okay. All right. Tempering chocolate. Here we go. Okay. Excuse me.
Tempering is the process of heating chocolate, cooling it down, and then raising the temperature again. Simply put, tempering chocolate gives the finished product a nice glossy shine, a crisp snap when broken, and a pleasant texture or mouthfeel when eaten. Tempered chocolate also sets quickly and doesn't melt in your hands as soon as you touch it. Chocolate that has not been properly tempered takes a long time to harden. It can have a grainy texture and can develop unsightly white blemishes through a process known as blooming. Chocolate contains fat known as cocoa butter. When cocoa butter solidifies, it can form various types of crystals that have different melting points. Only one of those crystals has the kind of characteristics we want. By tempering, we encourage the formation of this kind of crystal. While there are several methods for tempering chocolate, we'll be using the seeding method. When you purchase a chocolate bar at the store, it has already been tempered. By setting aside some of the tempered chocolate and introducing it into your melted chocolate, the fats in the melted chocolate are encouraged to form the same kind of crystals as those in the tempered chocolate. To temper chocolate, begin by chopping the solid chocolate into smaller pieces. Once you're finished chopping, place about 75% of the chocolate in a bowl. This is the chocolate that will be melted. The remaining 25% will be used to seed the melted chocolate. Chocolate can be melted in the microwave or using the double boiler method. Here we are using an improvised double boiler. Place about 1 inch of water in a saucepan and bring it to a simmer. Place the bowl of chocolate to be melted on top of the saucepan. The steam from the water will create indirect heat, so the chocolate won't get too hot.
So the steam, so make sure that the water does not touch the bottom of the bowl, okay? There's a gap between. The steam is the one that's gonna heat up the chocolate melted, all right?
And burn. Use care to avoid getting water into the melted chocolate, as this will cause the chocolate to seize and be unstable. This can happen if your bowl is too small. Begin stirring the chocolate with a spatula. You want to bring the temperature of the chocolate up to about 115 degrees Fahrenheit or 46 degrees centigrade.
Remember those numbers, okay? Remember those numbers, okay? Make sure you temper it correctly. If you come and tell me that your chocolate is not working properly, it's because you haven't tempered properly. You haven't reached those numbers.
Continue stirring the chocolate and scraping any chocolate off the sides of the bowl. Once the chocolate has reached the correct temperature, remove it from the heat. Now we will add the chocolate that we have reserved.
This is called the seeding of the chocolate, okay? This is one way to seed it, okay?
Begin adding the solid chocolate a handful at a time, mixing it until it completely melts. Adding this chocolate will provide seed crystals and help bring down the temperature. We want to bring the temperature down to about 86 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees centigrade. Continue this process until the chocolate has reached the correct temperature. By adding the chopped chocolate at the beginning and then adding larger chunks at the end, the smaller bits will melt and you can easily fish out the large chunks of chocolate if they haven't melted completely when the mass has reached the correct temperature. Now place the bowl back over the simmering water for just a few seconds. Remove the bowl from the heat, stir the chocolate, and check the temperature. Repeat this process until the chocolate reaches 89 degrees Fahrenheit or about 31.5 degrees centigrade. It's important not to let the chocolate get too hot or you'll need to start the entire process over again. Now the chocolate is tempered and is ready to be used for coating or pouring into molds.
So that is one way to temper the chocolate, okay? One way. Let's take a look at another way of tempering that chocolate, okay?
Wild thing,
You owe us $48.50. Wild thing.
If you ride, you get it. Geico Motorcycle.
Yeah.
or cookie project that you're working.
Okay.
Hey everybody, Thomas Joseph here with another kitchen conundrum I know you've been asking about. Have you tried melting chocolate for a candy or cookie project that you're working on and you end up with a dull white sheen on top of your chocolate like this? Well, what this is the fat within the cocoa butter, it rises to the surface if it's melted improperly. And today I'm going to show you how to fix that by tempering your chocolate. Tempering chocolate is a really interesting process of slowly bringing chocolate up to a higher temperature, reducing the temperature and cooling the chocolate, and then bringing it up again. And what that does is it leaves you with a wonderful shiny chocolate that's perfect for barks, for candies, for dipping cookies in, and it also has a really nice texture. And it's not that hard to do. You just need to know the temperatures for the chocolate that you're using. So today I'm using milk chocolate for my holiday bark. What you need is 1.5 pounds of chocolate in total. I'm going to show you a tempering method that's called seeding. And you want to make sure when you're melting chocolate for any project that the pieces are uniform in size so that they melt at an even rate. I have 1.25 pounds of chocolate here, and I need 1/4 pound more, but this needs to be left in one big piece. So we need another piece of chocolate that's 4 ounces, and this is perfect here. So reserve this piece off to the side. And now we're going to melt the chocolate. And for this, I'm using milk chocolate today. I need to bring this up to 113 degrees. So we're going to take the 1.25 pounds of chocolate, and I'm going over a pot of simmering water, and I've turned off the water because you don't want boiling, you don't want steam. Any moisture that you introduce into your chocolate will make your chocolate seize. So be careful not to introduce any moisture here. And what I'm going to do is just gently stir every so often until the chocolate is melted. And I want this mixture to come up to 113 degrees. And that's specific to milk chocolate. Now, for bittersweet, it's about 118 degrees. But when you're tempering chocolate, whichever brand you're using, go on their website and see what they recommend for temperatures. The chocolate is completely melted. There are no pieces. And I'm using a digital thermometer here in the middle of the chocolate, avoiding the bottom of the bowl. And I need a temperature of 113. You want to make sure when you're doing this process for any chocolate that you never go over 130 degrees because you will scorch your chocolate. So I'm at 110 right now. I'm going to keep stirring until it reaches 113 degrees. Our chocolate is at 113 degrees. I'm going to take it off the heat onto a towel to catch any of that excess moisture. And now to bring...
And this is how you seed it the other way, okay? But make sure you guys bring the thermometers with you.
the temperature of the chocolate down, I need it to come down to about 81 degrees for milk chocolate for this brand that I'm using. And I'm going to take that 1/4 pound piece that I had before, and I'm going to place it in the bowl, stirring constantly. And what this does is it acts as almost like an ice cube in bringing the temperature of the chocolate down. Now, you don't want to add chopped chocolate here, because what that does is it brings it down too rapidly. This is a nice slow way of doing so. And this method here is called seeding. So it's been about 20 minutes of stirring, and I'm going to check the temperature, and it should be 81 degrees. which it is, so that's great. Now, if you still have a piece of chocolate left, fish that out. And now what we have to do is we have to bring this chocolate up again in temperature. So it's 86 to 88 degrees for milk chocolate. And if you were using a bittersweet chocolate, it would be 88 to 90 degrees. So
remember those numbers. Remember those numbers, okay?
I'm going to turn off my simmering water. I'm going to place the bowl over the heat, and this goes up to about 86 degrees. 86 degrees, so that's good. And now immediately take the bowl off the heat. I like to, again, place it directly on top of a terry cloth towel, something that will absorb the condensation on the outside of the bowl. And now, if you're using this to make a holiday bark, you can immediately pour it into the pan. Or if you're dipping cookies or dried fruits into your wonderful tempered chocolate, you could use an electric heating pad to keep it warm enough so that you can dip in and it doesn't cool down too quickly. So I'm going to use this immediately. I'm going to pour it right into a baking sheet here lined with parchment.
So that's how you temper your chocolate in a different way, okay? Where you see it differently. Now let's take a look at your filigrees, because we are going to make some tomorrow, okay? So filigrees, how to fold that piece of paper, okay? Hold on. And I know I showed you guys a demo of this last week, okay? We are going to be practicing this tomorrow, okay? Making filigrees tomorrow. It's exactly what I showed you guys last week, Friday. That's to make your filigrees, okay? Filigrees is a decoration using your chocolate to make your desserts, give it more height and more eye appeal, okay? Here we go, chocolate filigrees. Let me go back. You can also draw them with the Sharpie on the parchment paper and turn the parchment paper upside down so you're not having it on top of that ink, okay?
Making light conversation, you ask me questions about who I really am. I could tell you the truth, wish I knew what it was myself. Ba, ba, ba.
Remember last week when I used those 2 slices of thinly sliced apple on top of the chantilly to give it height to my apple pie? Remember that? These can be utilized instead of the apple for your devil's food cake or chiffon cake. When you make filigrees, little Rosetta chantilly, and put that on the side of the filigrees, makes it nice and tall, okay?
You can paint your own picture. I'll choose the colors I see kids. Make me a portrait of the way you could see who I really am. I could tell you the truth. Wish I knew what it was myself. Friends from the past, I left behind them. Before I get to rest, I still remember the times when they wrote their own lyrics.
So we're going to be making some of those tomorrow, guys. Filigrees, okay? I'm going to give you a demo on the bag for the parchment paper and also how to make them, all right? Get out of this screen. Come on.
To my songs,
That's what we have tomorrow, Tuesday, okay? Let us go over Wednesday. You go, Wednesday. Yep, Wednesday, okay? Wednesday, we are going to be making cakes, okay? Cakes and more cakes, okay? Yes, we're going to be making a chiffon cake and devil's food cake on Wednesday, okay? You are going to be finish them. You're going to take them home because we're going to present later on Friday, okay? So cakes and more cakes. We're making them Wednesday, okay? Ingredients, ingredient functions to review, okay? Ingredient functions, you got tougheners, okay? Eggs and flour, protein, mixing, overworking is going to make your cake tough, okay? Tenderizers, fats including egg yolks, sugar, chemical leaveners, baking soda, baking powder, okay? Shortening action, you got moisteners, liquid including syrups, sugar, and eggs. Dryers, okay? Your drying agents, if you use too much cornstarch, too much cocoa powder, starches, flours, or non-fat dairy milk solids or powder milk, it may come out dry, okay? So you got to measure everything correctly. You also got some leaveners, baking powder, baking soda. And again, to give off CO2, give it a lift on that cake, okay? Mixing methods, okay? High fat, high sugar and fat. You're going to use the creamy methods on both of the cakes, okay? Creamy method is also used for American butter cakes, okay? 2 stages, high liquid and sugar content on carrot cake, okay? So when you make carrot cake, it's got 2 stages. 1 stage, brownies. Everything mixed together in the mixer, you make brownies. You don't need to whip out the cream of the butter and the sugar because the brownies are nicely dense and packed. Flour batter are used for wedding cakes and specialty cakes, okay? Foam, have low fat, high eggs, chiffon method, almost like souffle. Okay, that's a foam method. You're going to use the foam method for your chiffon cake. Sponge, whole or separated eggs, make genoise cake, and also angel food cake. It needs to be fluffy, like a souffle, okay? Your chiffon cake is going to resemble almost like an angel food cake, okay? Goals of mixing, to combine all the ingredients into a smooth, uniform batter. To form all the incorporated air cells into the batter, carefully folding, okay? You're going to fold it carefully to develop the proper texture of the finished product. Emulsions, be aware that many cakes require an emulsion to be formed during mixing. Improper mixing can result in a curdled batter, and your cake's going to come out dense, okay? Poor texture. Ingredients may be too cold, liquids added too quickly. So you got to take care of how you make that cake. Creamy method is used for devil's food cake, okay? Blend fat and sugar first until light and fluffy and it turns pale yellow color. So with the paddle, not the whisk, the paddle, you're going to use the paddle in the mixer machine. You're going to have the butter in small pieces. You're going to whip it until it's nice and fluffy, pale yellow. Then you're going to add the sugar. Mix the sugar in until it's thoroughly mixed, and you're going to keep on beating it until it becomes kind of fluffy, okay? At that point, you're going to add the eggs slowly, still with the paddle, okay? Blending after each addition, okay? Alternate, you're gonna sift the dry ingredients and combine liquids, blending after each addition, okay? You're gonna stop the mixer from turning. You're gonna raise lower the bowl and scrape the sides, okay? Put it back up and then turn it on so you can blend all the sides too, okay? Scale into prepare pan. So you're gonna measure how much you're gonna go into the baking pan, okay? Spray in line and bake in a preheated oven. So you gotta take a look at what your recipe says for the ovens to be preheated. Okay, so Wednesday, you know you gotta make cakes. So you gotta preheat your ovens as soon as you walk into the kitchen, okay? Chiffon method, it's the best birthday cake ever. Sift the dry ingredients into a bowl with half the sugar, stir in liquids, including egg yolks, oil, and blend very well, okay? And then on the side, you're gonna whip your egg whites to a stiff, moist peak and add half the sugar too. Carefully, you're gonna fold the egg whites into the batter in 3 portions. Scale into the sprayed and lined pan, okay? I mean, don't spray. The chiffon cake doesn't take any spray, so don't spray the chiffon cake, okay? Only the bottom is parchment paper. Baked in a preheated oven, okay? Creamy methods are used for souffle, okay? Ethereal light as air. Prep ramekins first. Butter and dust with granulated sugar. Prepare the base. Cook until thick. Contains starch. I might show you guys a little how to make souffle on Friday. Okay. Cool slightly. Add eggs, flavorings. Held at this point. Whip egg whites to firm, moist peaks. Part of sugar is sweet souffle. Folding carefully into base. I'm going to give you a demo on the souffle on Friday, guys. Okay. And cheesecake is a cake or a custard. Cheesecake is actually a custard. Dates back to ancient Greeks. It was a wedding food. Custard bread contains soft cheese, dense to light, fluffy, gelatin texture, crumb or shortbread crust. It is baked in a water bath. Okay. And there's 2 kinds of cheesecakes. Do you guys know which kinds of cheesecakes we have? Not flavorings. 2 types of cheesecakes. 2 kinds. We got regular cheesecake, and there's another one. Think, guys. Two types of cheesecakes. We got the regular cheesecake, and there's another one. I'm not talking about the flavorings. Okay.
Is it New York style?
Bingo, New York style. What is New York style?
It's made with Philadelphia cream cheese.
Yeah, that too. What else?
Graham crackers.
Yeah.
It's plain. It's just graham crackers and the cheese, cream cheese filling.
So what? Yeah. Okay. So what is it different? Why is it different than regular cheesecake?
Regular cheesecake is typically made with like
Because of the cheese.
And a pie tart for the crust.
New York style cheesecake has that golden crust on top, the golden brown crust. Regular cheesecake is plain Jane, no crust on top, no golden brownness. That is the difference between both of them. Okay. So when you see anything that says New York cheesecake or New York style cheesecake, you need to see that golden crust on top of the cheesecake. Okay. That is the difference between both of them. Regular has no golden crust. New York cheesecake has the golden crust. Is very thick cheesecake. Regular cheesecake is baked in a water bath, covered. New York cheesecake is baked in a water bath, uncovered, to get that nice golden crust on top. Okay. So pointers for success when making cakes: make sure the ingredients are sitting at room temperature. Soften the cheese with a paddle. Okay. Add sugar, no lumps. Add eggs. So when you add the sugar, make sure there's no lumps. Add the eggs. Add cream and flavorings. This is for your cheesecake. Crust should be part baked. Again, blind baked, no beans. Pour batter into crust in a water bath. And how to check for doneness: when you take it out of the oven, shake it. If it's jiggly, not ripple when done. Okay. No color desired except again New York cheesecake, because you gotta have that golden crust on the top. That's New York style cheesecake. Okay. So Wednesday, you are making devil's food cake. 6-inch. You're also going to be making chiffon cake. Okay. Chiffon cake, you can make it into one of those pans here that has a hole in it. We don't have them any on campus, so we have to either make it on a cake pan. But when you make it in the cake pan, don't fill it all the way to the top. Fill it halfway or 3/4, because the batter is going to rise to the top. Okay. So chiffon cake and devil's food cake. Okay. That's on Wednesday. We're going to be making it, but we're not going to present. Okay. Let's take a look at chiffon cake or devil's food cake. All right.
Now, you can skip the grocery store and stay healthy at home. Sunbasket delivers totally delicious meals ready in minutes.
Everybody, Thomas Joseph here, and today I'm super excited to share with you another Science Behind. And today's Science Behind is all about devil's food cake. Now, are you one that enjoys a light and airy devil's food cake
Yes.
like this one here? Or do you prefer a dense and fudgy devil's food cake like
That's a
this
brownie.
one I have here? Well, it's all a matter of ratios of fat to flour, and I'm going to show you how you can customize your cake batter to your taste. So let's get started. So what do I mean by these formulas and playing around with ratios? Well, there are two main components that you need to be worried about, and that is fat and flour. So if you wanted a light and airy cake like this version here, you can see it has a nice domed top. You need 3 cups of cake flour and 3 sticks of butter. But if you are like me and you like a dense and fudgy cake, which I have here, which has more of that brownie type top, that crackly top and a fudgy interior, you are going to need more fat. And so I have 3.5 sticks of butter, and I've added 4 ounces of bittersweet chocolate that has been melted. So these 2 items here are the fat component. And then we've reduced the overall flour by a cup. We only need 2 cups of cake flour. The rest of the ingredients stay the same, regardless of how you make it, light and airy or dense and fudgy. So I'm going to get started. I have 3.5 sticks of butter here in my mixer. So I'm making that dense and fudgy version. Add 2¼ cups of granulated sugar. Cream this together until it's nice, light, and airy. And that will take about 3 to 4 minutes. So while the butter and sugar is creaming together, I am going to take my cocoa powder, which is consistent throughout the 2 recipes, and it's 3/4 cup of Dutch processed cocoa. And Dutch processed cocoa is this dark cocoa. It's not natural. Natural is more of a red cocoa, and Dutch processed cocoa is treated with an alkaline solution, which means that it neutralizes the pH of chocolate. Chocolate is naturally acidic, and Dutch process is a neutral pH. So stir this together with 3/4 cup of hot water until it's nice and combined. And then add 3/4 cup of sour cream. Now, sour cream is our acidifying agent, which is going to react with our leavener. That creates the air and the volume of the cake. So 3/4 cup of sour cream. Whisk your sour cream into your chocolate mixture here. And now add that melted chocolate. Again, it's 4 ounces of bittersweet chocolate that's been melted and cooled. Now our butter and sugar mixture is nice and creamed here. It's light and fluffy. Now add the eggs, and that's 4 large eggs, one at a time. You're going to add it to the mixer. Your ingredients should be at room temperature. So all of my ingredients here are at room temperature. And 1 whole tablespoon of the best quality vanilla extract that you have. Now, vanilla and chocolate work really well together. Vanilla actually makes things seem as though they're chocolatier than they are. So whenever you're making something with chocolate, add a little bit of vanilla and it amps up that flavor. And now I have 2 cups of cake flour here, and I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Again, that's the leavener. It's going to react with the sour cream, that acid, and create those bubbles which give rise to your cake. So sift these 2 together, and now we're ready to put the whole batter together. And one more thing, I almost forgot, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Remember, salt is very important in baked goods. It brings out the natural flavors. So I'm going to start with half of our dry ingredients. Start this on low speed. add all of this chocolate sour cream mixture, and now the rest of the dry ingredients. I'm just finishing stirring the batter together, making sure that it's all evenly incorporated. And now into our baking pans. I have two 9-inch round baking pans here that have been buttered, lined with parchment paper, buttered again, and then dusted with cocoa powder. This will ensure that the cakes come out of the pan nice and evenly. So use your judgment here and try and evenly distribute the batter between the two pans. You could use a scale here to weigh out the batter so that you know that each layer is perfectly even. And now gently smooth out the tops and have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. And these cakes will bake for about 40 to 45 minutes. You want to make sure that a toothpick, when you insert it in the center of the cake, it comes out clean. So when your cakes come out of the oven, make sure you cool them in the pan for about 15 minutes before you invert them onto a wire rack to cool completely.
So remember, you're going to have a toothpick to insert in the middle. If it comes out wet and sticky, your cake is not done, okay? So hopefully you guys, your cake will be all put in the oven at the same time. So you're not opening and closing those doors, and that cake is not going to bake in 40 minutes, okay? So that's your devil's food cake, okay? You go ahead and take a look at the chiffon cake, so you guys can take a look at the method and the technique for making chiffon cake. But we're not going to cut it like he's cutting,
This
okay?
is the checkers game where grandson and granddad will bond. This is the kitchen where the new boyfriend will unofficially become,
because it's super moist. Today, I'm super excited to share with you one of the most popular questions that has been asked, and that is all about yellow cake or white cake. Now, we've done so many chocolate recipes, and everybody wants to know, what's the perfect yellow cake? Well, today I'm going to show you what I believe to be the perfect yellow cake, and that is a chiffon cake. Because not only is it nice and airy, but it's also really moist. So I have 9 egg whites in the bowl of my mixer here with a whisk attachment. And I'm going to start frothing them up before I add a little bit of cream of tartar. Now, this is a ½ teaspoon of cream of tartar, and what cream of tartar does is it contributes to the stability of your egg white foam, or in this case, it's going to be a meringue because we're adding sugar to it. So it adds that strength and structure, which will ultimately give you really great volume in your cake. Now, a chiffon cake is not a creaming method cake. It's actually more similar to a sponge cake in which you whip the eggs. In this case, I'm whipping egg whites separately from the yolks to build volume. So while this is whipping, I'm going to add a little bit of flavoring. Since we're making a basic cake, an all-purpose cake, I'm going to use vanilla today. And I really love using a vanilla bean because I think it adds really great flavor. But if you didn't have a vanilla bean, you could certainly use vanilla extract. About 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract here would give you a very similar flavor. Now, use just the seeds in this mixture. Now, the egg whites, they're doing really nicely here. They're built up. Looks like we have soft peaks. And now I'm going to start adding a little bit of sugar. And egg whites plus sugar equals a meringue. So this is 3/4 of a cup of regular granulated sugar. As always, when you're making a meringue, you want to gradually add the sugar. Now, gradually adding the sugar, what it does is it helps the sugar dissolve into the egg whites so you don't get any gritty texture. I have 7 egg yolks here, and to that I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of whole milk and a ½ cup of safflower oil or any neutral flavored oil. So mix these ingredients together just until they're nicely combined. And then for the dry ingredients, I have 2 1/4 cups of cake flour, 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, 2 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of coarse salt. So just mix these ingredients together until they're nicely combined in a large bowl. Now your wet ingredients go right in to the dry ingredients here. Mix these together. So now gradually add a little bit, maybe about 1/4 of your egg white mix.
In thirds, okay? 1/3 at a time. Egg whites into the batter, okay? Folding it in. If you don't fold it right, your chiffon cake is not going to come out nice and fluffy.
mixture into your base batter. And this is the technique of folding. So what you're doing with this initial amount of egg white or meringue is you're lightening the batter up slightly, making it easier to then fold in the rest of the egg white without deflating it too much. Now, today I'm using a traditional pan for a chiffon cake, which is one of these 10-inch anodized aluminum tube pans.
We only have a few limited of those at school. I'm going to bring them out so you guys can choose your pan, okay?
So this is a typical angel food cake pan. Oftentimes, a lot of recipes will say, oh, you can only bake in this pan because the batter itself needs to crawl up the sides, but I have made this cake in a lot of different baking pans. So you could butter and flour and use a little piece of parchment, a 9-inch cake pan. You can use a few of these if you wanted to create a layer cake. So this batter does work. You just need to make sure that you're buttering and flouring so that the batter has something to kind of crawl up to or stick on. So make sure your oven is preheated to 325 degrees with the rack in the middle of the oven. So as always, when you're folding ingredients, you want to make sure that you're scraping the perimeter of the bowl and then you're bringing the batter up and over on top of itself. So scrape around, up and over, and I'm rotating the bowl as I do this. So this looks nice. Pour it right into your tube pan here.
And again, it doesn't get sprayed, doesn't get dusted with sugar and or flour, okay? It just goes straight into the pan.
It goes right into your 300.
But your batter needs to be nice and not runny, so it doesn't leak in the bottom of the pan. If it does, you're gonna have to put a sheet tray with parchment paper and then put that pan on top of it. So if it leaks into the sheet tray, not to your oven.
125-degree oven for about 52 to 55 minutes. It's gonna be nice and puffy and lightly golden brown on top. So right into the oven. So the chiffon cake, it's been out of the oven and it's cooled completely. Now, as with an angel food cake, you want to cool it upside down. So that's why these tube pans with the feet on the bottom of them are really great. So you can see it's a nice light golden brown color. It's puffed up really beautifully. And I'm going to take a very thin blade. This is a carving knife. It's flexible. And you want to glide this around the outside of the pan. So to firmly press along the perimeter of the pan here. And you should be able to pop the cake right out. Take your knife and go along the bottom of the pan. And with a little bit of a shimmy here, should be able to take the cake out nicely.
That's a yellow chiffon cake for Wednesday, okay? If you don't have one of those pans, a cake pan should be fine too, but you're gonna have to line it with parchment paper at the bottom before you pour the batter into it. Okay. Yellow chiffon cake Wednesday. Devil's food cake, yellow chiffon cake. We're baking those on Wednesday, okay, but we're not presenting on Wednesday. Okay, you guys are gonna bake them off, wrap them and take them home. Okay. Chiffon cakes and devil's food cake on Wednesday, okay? Thursday, we're making the buttercream icing and we're gonna assemble your cakes. Thursdays, we're gonna assemble the cakes, okay? Thursday, we're making, again, the icing and we're gonna assemble the cakes, put them together, okay? So cake icings and frostings. Is it frosting or icing? Often used interchangeably. Filling, coating, or both adds flavor, improves appearance, extends shelf life. Okay, gives you longer shelf life. Types of icings or frostings: you got buttercream, you got foam, fudge, fondant. Fondant is hard to work with because it is heavy. So the cake you need to have to work with fondant needs to be nice and firm, and not like the chiffon cake. It's too soft. It'll weigh it down. You got a glaze, royal icing, and ganache, okay? Buttercream, it's light, smooth, fluffy, mixture sugar and fat, okay? All butter, all shortening or a combination. We're gonna use both, butter and shortening combination with sugar. May contain eggs, yolk, white, or both. Flavorings are limitless. You can flavor whatever you want, maybe some vanilla flavor, some little almond extract, whatever flavor you want that icing to be like, okay? Simple, Italian and French are most popular. Simple buttercream, also known as American style buttercream. Buttercream time, and buttercream and 10x sugar or powdered sugar. You're gonna blend until smooth, light and fluffy. Okay. Shortening saves cost. Okay. But the only thing with shortening has a different mouthfeel. You guys ever eat those cupcakes at the store that have been sitting on the shelf for a long time? That icing on the cupcakes. Okay. Remember? Have you guys seen those cupcakes at the store? Ho-Hos, Twinkies, all those things.
Yeah.
What kind of mouthfeel does it leave on your palate after you eat it?
Well, some of the icing, like the cupcakes that sit on the shelf for too long, they look like they're sweating, and it looks like it's water on top of it, and it's kind of disgusting. But the feeling, I can't really remember.
That feeling of the different mouthfeel on the palate, it's waxy. You know why? Because they use shortening, and shortening is a hydrogenated oil, and it's not butter. So that when you eat one of those cupcakes, those ho-hos, those whatever you eat at the store, even the regular cups with the icing is shortening. It's cheap, inexpensive, has longer shelf life, and when you eat it, it's like it stays in your mouth for quite a little bit of longer time because it is waxy and it won't go away. Okay. So yeah, has a different mouthfeel. Okay. Extracts, chocolate liqueur, most common for flavorings. Egg whites may be used, pasteurized meringue or powder. Cream, milk, or water may be used to adjust the texture as well too. Okay. Italian buttercream, it's a meringue based, softball syrup added. Like remember we were talking about the caramel sauce last week about how to the softball stage. When it reaches 240 degrees, you take a little bit, put it in a glass of cold water, and it should form like a little softball shape. Butter transforms, soft, light, yet rich. Most stable the meringue-based buttercreams, but it's kind of hard to make because when you start adding the simple syrup on it, while it's mixing it, it kind of tends to like blow to the sides of the wall of the mixer. Okay. French buttercream, egg yolk based, pas de bombe. Butter transforms, light yet rich. Good use for 1 to 0 yolks. Can be made with white egg whites too. Okay. Cakes. So when you layer cakes, okay, use a serrated knife is the best. Okay. So when you layer cakes, you're gonna make the cakes. You're gonna assemble them on Thursday. It's better to have so here's your cake on top. It's better to have a knife that is long and serrated. When you cut it, I'm gonna give you a demo how to cut it. You have to cut it straight. So this is the good place to utilize and have your turntable. Okay. But gently saw and spin around till you reach the center. So you grab the cake, you grab your knife, okay? You start cutting the middle and then turn your cake and then start cutting and keep on turning the cake. That's what the turntable it works better because you keep on turning it as you cut it back and forth, keep on turning and it keeps that knife level until you got across and you move that cake and it's nicely level cut across, okay? I'm gonna give you some demos on decorating, okay? A couple of helpful hints. Always keep icing between the spatula and the cake, okay? Don't try to grab the icing and put it on the cake and then dab it, because what happens is you're going to pick up that cake and it's going to tear a hole in it, okay? So grab your offset spatula, okay, and then ice it, and then go back and ice it, okay? And I'm going to give you a couple of demos how to ice that cake on Thursday, okay? But again, don't dab, because dabbing it destroys your cake, okay? Feathering motion. On sides and top is smooth. So when the feathering motion, you grab your spatula and you go like this, okay? Back and forth, feathering, okay? And again, we use the cake wheels and turntable. So again, it's good use to have a turntable that day. And when you decorate the cake, your OCD tendencies, sometimes if you're extremely OCD like I am, you're gonna take a break and walk away for a minute or two and come back, go at it again, because if you try to be there and try to ice it, try to make it perfect, you're probably gonna ruin that cake, okay? Especially when you're trying to be a perfectionist with that cake. Your menu for Thursday, American buttercream. You're gonna make American buttercream icing. It's gonna take a lot of powdered sugar, okay? Crumb coating for the sides, and you're also gonna make mirror glaze. There is a recipe on the portal how to make mirror glaze, okay? So that's on Thursday. Okay, that's Thursday. Let's take a look at American buttercream. Okay, how to make it. And again, when you make your buttercream, do not use your whisk. Use your paddle to make the buttercream, okay?
Recipe because Hi, I'm Emily Tatek from the Wilton Test Kitchen. Today I'm here to show you Wilton's classic buttercream. It's a great recipe because it's soft enough that you can spread it on your cake, but it's sturdy enough that you can make all those beautiful decorations like borders and writing on top of your cake. There's a few types of equipment you'll need for this. You'll need a stand mixer like the one I have here or a hand mixer. You'll need your paddle attachment, not your whisk. You'll need a sturdy silicone spatula like this one. And it's always great to have a few measuring tools on hand just in case. Some of the ingredients you'll need for this recipe are, you need half a cup of butter or 1 stick. You're gonna need half a cup of vegetable shortening, 1 teaspoon clear vanilla extract, 4 cups of sifted confectioner's sugar, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk. If you wanna make this a chocolate buttercream, you can add 3/4 cup cocoa powder, an additional 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk, depending on the consistency of your buttercream. So let's get started. First, I'm gonna add my butter and my shortening. It's gonna go right into my bowl. And the important thing with this is you wanna make sure that your butter is completely softened. You don't want it to come out of the fridge and still be firm because you want your shortening and your butter to be well combined. I'm putting on my paddle attachment. I'm gonna start on medium to medium low. I'm just gonna get these nice and combined. It's really important when making buttercream to continuously scrape down the sides of your bowl so you don't have a big hunk of shortening or butter at the bottom. You want to make sure everything is nice and evenly incorporated. So I'm going to stop my mixer, wrong way, and just give it a nice little scrape. Get it off my paddle. I want to make sure that everything is in there, like that. And it's really good to scrape the bottom of your bowl too, just so everything gets in. Okay, so let's start it up again. And now that my butter and shortening is really combined, I'm gonna add my vanilla extract. So this is 1 teaspoon again, just go right in with that. And mix until it's really nice and combined. That looks great. So I'm gonna actually move my mixer down to low and start adding my confectioner's sugar. You want to have your speed on low because, as everyone has done it once in their life, if you have it high and you put something like flour or confectioner's sugar in a bowl, it's just going to go right in your face. So make sure that it's on low. We're going to go half a cup at a time. It's important to do this in really small increments because you don't want a lumpy buttercream. You want it really smooth and really glossy, and that feel on your tongue, it's just great. And keep adding, and I'll do the next addition when things start to get a little dry. And don't be concerned, your buttercream will look dry. That's normal. That's why we're going to add milk at the end. Just a little more. And as I mentioned before, if you wanted to make this a chocolate buttercream, I would take the cocoa powder and I would sift it in with my confectioner's sugar, and that way you won't have any lumps or anything, and it'll just be nice and smooth. So we'll just keep adding. All right, my buttercream is looking pretty dry and clumpy, but don't be concerned. This is exactly what it's supposed to look like. You can tell my mixer is getting a little tired, but don't worry. All right, so that's the rest of it. All in. And I'm going to add my 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. I'm going to do this slowly because you don't want to add too much. So
You won't need milk.
about a tablespoon. All right, looks like it needs both the tablespoons. And from here, I'm going to turn it off, and I'm actually going to scrape my bowl again. A lot gets stuck to your paddle, so just make sure to get all that off. And again, really get down there and get the bottom and the sides because you don't want anything unmixed. All right, this looks great. I'm gonna turn my mixer up to about medium now and really get it going. And you'll see how quickly it goes from kind of a lumpy mess to this smooth, creamy consistency. It's really cool.
I would strongly suggest you guys sift your powdered sugar so it doesn't have any lumps. Even when you mix it with the paddle, mix it until there's no lumps in the icing, because you don't want to bite into a lump of icing and get an explosion of powdered sugar in your mouth, okay?
So we're just about there.
So that's your American buttercream icing. Real easy, shortening, butter and powdered sugar, okay? That's what we have on Thursday, okay? Any thoughts about Thursday? There we go, okay? Thursday, buttercream, crumb coating, and mirror glaze. We're gonna go with the recipes in a few minutes, okay? So you guys can see that, and I also have to do your production sheets for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So Thursday, American buttercream, crumb coating, and mirror glaze, okay? Your devil's food cake is the one for the mirror glaze. American buttercream is for your chiffon cake, just to make it clear, okay? Thursday, let's go Friday. Friday is when you're gonna present your cakes. Friday is when we are going to present, just like the apple pie, present on Friday. Now, there is caramel sauce and coulis. If you don't have any fruit coulis from last week, I have to make it again this day, okay? So we're gonna make fruit coulis. You should have your caramel sauce from last week. If not, this is a good day to make it or remake it again, okay? We're also gonna make ganache, and we're gonna plate and decorate your cakes on Friday, okay? So Friday, okay? This is what I've done in the past with my devil's food cake, okay? I love to play with menus during Valentine's Day. Again, chocolate, aphrodisiac, it's exotic, and it is there, you know, all the time. But what I've done with this, my angel food cake, is I make ganache with heavy cream, chocolate chips, and butter. And this is the steps. Again, chocolate in the bowl, add my scalding heavy cream, and then my devil's food cake, when I baked it into a sheet tray, 2 sheet trays, okay? Came back the next day, shave off the top so it was nice and flat, okay? Put some chocolate mousse on it, and I will buy some brandied cherries that were imported from France, about 45% proof, and better those cherries on top of the mousse. And then went ahead and put the other sheet of devil's food cake on top, leveled it off, iced it with more chocolate mousse, put it in the freezer, let it sit, come back, and then punched it, cut it with a cookie cutter, and then put it in the wide rack, and then pour my ganache on top of it, okay? So what I've done is, as you see here on the right-hand side picture, okay? That is an individual serving of devil's food cake, okay? This is what I've done. Bottom is cake, middle is mousse with cherries, top is cake, more mousse, put it back in the freezer, cut it, and then topped it with chocolate ganache. I have a little bit of chantilly here on top of the cake, a little bit, and then this is the filigree that I have on top of that cake. That's what we're practicing filigrees on Monday or Tuesday, so you guys can make them on Friday to garnish your cake, okay? But I went further and beyond, okay? That was one Valentine's Day dinner, okay? So I went further and beyond, and the next year, I did a duo of white chocolate ganache, white chocolate cake, and I had it the yin and yang on my Valentine's Day menu, okay? I called this one Juliet's Weakness because it had white chocolate and dark chocolate. Let me go back, okay? Right here at the bottom, okay? Bottom right picture, okay? So I did this exactly the same thing, but when I finally cut my cakes with a cookie cutter, I cut them in half, and I took one regular chocolate, one white chocolate, put them together, okay? while they were still soft, and they're glued together. Same size, same thing. One is dark, one is regular chocolate, one is white chocolate. And man, it was a hit. It was such a hit that one customer came in and had it for a Valentine's dinner, came back and requested that white chocolate with white ganache to be her wedding cake for her wedding day. Okay. So that's what we have on Friday. We are going to decorate the cakes, and again, this is what we're going to use the filigrees for, as you can see right here. Okay. And again, just some plating ideas on your devil's food cake and your chiffon cake. Okay. When you make that cake whole, if you want to go around and make the cake whole and decorate it, cut a wedge, put it on a plate, and decorate that plate. Okay, that's what we're going to do on Friday. Okay. Any thoughts about this week's menu? You guys know what we're making tomorrow? What are we making tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're tempering chocolate for a chocolate mousse.
Okay. Are you making chocolate mousse and what else tomorrow?
The chocolate cream pie.
Uh-huh.
And pâte brisée.
Right, and you're blind baking that pâte brisée, right? Because that chocolate cream pie is not going back into the oven. Okay, once you put the chocolate mousse, let it set, and that should be it. Okay. And then filigrees. I'm going to show you a demo how to do some filigrees because you're going to use them for Friday's decoration of the cakes. Okay. So pay close attention because you're going to have to know how to temper that chocolate properly to make the filigrees to decorate your cakes. So tomorrow, chocolate cream pie, pâte brisée, chocolate mousse, and filigrees. Okay. Tomorrow. Wednesday, you got 2 cakes to make. Each one takes about 40 minutes to bake. Devil's food cake and angel food cake. But that's what we got going on Wednesday. We're baking them, but we're not assembling it. You guys are going to take them home. Thursday, in your homes, you're going to assemble them together. Once we make the buttercream icing, maybe make some ganache, go the extra mile and make it more than just cakes, okay? And Friday is when we're presenting those cakes, okay? So Friday is your time to play with the presentation. You may Google some more images on how to do the devil's food cake and chiffon cake, okay? But I'm just going to give you a couple of examples and you guys can do your own, okay? And again, cake, cut a wedge, present it, sauce, chantilly, and filigree. When just show a piece of cake on a plate, that ain't going to cut it, okay? You're making coulis, you got a caramel sauce, coulis, and you got some other things to play with in your cakes, okay? Thursday is buttercream icing and mirror glaze. We're going to assemble those cakes. There is a recipe for mirror glaze on your portal, okay? So let me see if I can pull the my production sheet, show you guys what I got so far for this week's production. Let me see if I can pull it, okay? All right. And again, I got mine on Google Docs, so it's a lot easier for me to share, okay? Again, this was for the first day, okay? So for tomorrow, okay, chocolate cream pie, there it is, okay? There's my production sheet for chocolate cream pie, okay? Pâte brisée, chocolate cream pie, and of course, chocolate mousse. So pâte brisée, again, go back, 250 grams of AP flour, 205 grams of butter, cold, salt 3 grams, sugar 10 grams, ice cold water 55 grams. And now you know the technique how to make the pâte brisée flaky. Okay, chocolate cream pie, pastry cream. So if you have it, bring it. If you don't, you have to make it tomorrow at school. Okay, cream chantilly, half batch, chocolate 120 grams, coconut 60 grams. I'm gonna leave the coconut out. And banana 120 grams. Okay, you're gonna blind bake the pie shell to golden brown. Make half a batch of pastry cream and fold in melted chocolate. Okay, so pastry cream with the melted chocolate. Okay, and then you're going to fold in the chantilly. okay? Or you can top it with chantilly. So you got chocolate and then chantilly on top, okay? And then chill and serve. Chocolate mousse, there's the recipe. I just give you guys on the slide, okay? Bittersweet chocolate, 3.5 ounces. Large eggs, 3. Salt, a pinch. Sugar, 2.5 teaspoons. Chilled whipped cream, 3/4 cup. Melt chocolate, remove, add egg yolks, melted chocolate, whisk until smooth. Beat eggs whites. Okay, that's the method for the chocolate mousse. And I'm also going to add the tempering of the chocolate to make filigrees to give you guys a demo. So when you guys leave Wednesday, you take some parchment paper with you so you can make those little bags and make filigrees on Friday for your cake, okay? Here's my recipe for the devil's food cake, okay? And my chiffon cake, 125 grams of shortening, 125 grams of butter, sugar, flour, cocoa powder, baking soda, and milk. Chiffon cake, flour, sugar, salt, baking powder, eggs, oil, water, vanilla extract, egg whites, sugar, cream of tartar, don't forget, lemon zest, and also my method for my 2 cakes, okay? There's my recipe for Thursday, okay? The American style buttercream and then more chocolate mousse to fill my cake. The only thing I don't have here is a mirror glaze. I'm gonna add it to it, okay? And there's my plating desserts on Friday, okay? Tempered in chocolate, okay? Fruit coulis and the method, okay? Now here on your on the portal for your recipes, okay? Again, there's a chocolate cream pie. There's a pastry cream, chantilly, chocolate, coconut, sweetened, okay? Cream chantilly, caramel sauce, candy nuts, brittle fruit coulis, tempered chocolate, ganache. Let me look at the devil's, there's a devil's food cake, okay? There's a recipe for the devil's food cake. There's a recipe for the yellow chiffon cake, okay? Italian buttercream, okay? And I know some here is a mirror glaze, okay? I just saw it. I'm gonna try to look for it. It is here, guys. I saw it. I did see it. Huh. Baked Alaska, buttercream, hazelnuts, Nutella potted strawberry balsamic dessert, puff pastry, croissant, challah bread, milk bread, ham brine, pickles, orange, stewed salmon, corned beef, sauerkraut, Dijon, sweet mozzarella compose. There's one in here. I did see it, guys. There's one in here. If not, I'm going to give another recipe, okay? If you can't find it. All right. So, mirror glaze, okay? Here's the mirror glaze recipe. Take a picture, write it down. Okay. It'll also be uploaded on the portal later on, okay? It'll be in the portal as well too, for you guys to take a look at, but that's the recipe for the mirror glaze, okay? There's one in the portal and there's this one. I just can't find the other one, but I know I saw it there this morning. And there's how to assemble your cakes again. It's all about that cake on Thursday, how to assemble them. Okay. Any thoughts so far about this week's production? Cakes and more cakes, icing, buttercream icing, mirror glaze, ganache, filigrees.
I don't have any, chef.